And this is a new system for me, broadcast, okay. Okay, I think I'm live. I thought I'd be brave and show myself to the world. I'm planning on I've got a system, Zoom, where I can invite people on, and I'm using it for YouTube, that I'm going to be doing weekly podcast type things. And looking at my mobile phone, let's see, where am I? Am I live or not? It's a bit confusing. Oh, I am live. I've got one person, but I can't. You can see me. Okay. I can hear myself. Okay, so I don't know who's out there. One comment. Who is that? Christina. Hello, Donna and Christina and Mira. Mira, I've already seen you today. I thought I'd come on live and basically just wondering how people are feeling out there. I think there's a lot of energy. I do believe in astrology, or I use it. When I say I believe in it, I use it because it helps me to heal my own stuff as I go through life. I don't use it like for every moment, but overall it gives me some idea and direction about who I am and what I am. And I don't know how many people, hello Donna, I don't know how many people out there know their charts in astrology, but I've been studying something called evolutionary astrology through somebody who's been teaching me, a guy called Simon Vorster, who is an amazing knowledgeable man on this stuff, and he's really helped me to decondition a lot of my own nonsense, so to speak, and look at my gifts as well and where I can transform. And I found that knowing myself through my own chart has really helped me to clarify a few things about myself, and also to look at my deep wounds that I came into the world with early on. Hello, Erwin, and there's Sarah and Linda. So the interesting thing about astrology is that if we don't know our birth time, then it's very difficult to know our rising sign and where the planets fall into what houses they fall in. So ideally, anybody looking at an astrology chart is better off having the time of birth, which not everybody knows, but charts can be, I don't know if the right word's reconstructed, I can't do them, but there are astrologers who can work with you to define certain things to get to the planet placements and the houses. Hello, Erwin. Thank you for the love heart. So I think that I don't know what the energy is like out there, but what I find is that I see quite clearly, knowing astrology, and then seeing on Facebook that when certain transits are going on, there's transits going on all of the time. The planets are continuously moving through space and time. And we're on a planet. I think we forget that. And sometimes because we're so caught up in our own pain or worries or woundings, and that we can feel so alone in the world. And I think that, we're not alone, but when we're in our own depth of pain and whatever we're working on, we do feel that loneliness. And I think it's important to know that we're not alone, and that when we really hit low points, that it is safe to reach out to people in whatever way we do that, whether it's through Messenger. And often I think it's better to go to people that are on the same, that resonate on the same level. I mean, I've had big issues with people in my past as I've been healing deep childhood wounding, and telling me that I've got to forgive and let it go. And the truth of deep wounding and pain is that, and you've lived with it all of your life, it's processing it. And there are some wounds in life that I know that may never get processed fully because they're so horrendous, and it's different for every single being on this planet. We've all got a different journey, and it's being mindful how we discuss with each other, or who we discuss our issues with. That's what I've had to learn to do, because I've been quite public in my display of my emotions about certain things. But I also see that as a good thing, because I believe that being outspoken, it gives others the opportunity to be outspoken about their own stuff as well. And we live in a world now where we can, you know, share this stuff. It's amazing that, you know, if you go back 30 years, you know, I got my first mobile phone when I was 30, and that was 22 years ago. And prior to that, what did we do? It was a whole different world. And the knowledge that we can learn is beautiful as well. So I don't know, Phil, hello Phil, and whoever else is there, there's 4 people. But you know, it's interesting that we can through, you know, through looking at my own chart, I began to be able to heal things in me that, you know, I didn't know that I would be able to heal. So that's a fascinating thing. But I don't know if anybody out there uses or knows their own chart, or whether they use their, you know, but it's a time and date and place. Clearly, most of us know the date we were born and the place, but the time is not possible for everybody. But there you go. Is there anybody that also, the other thing I can do with this system that is great is that I'm able to invite people with a link, which is brilliant, which means that, you know, as I go along and do these, if people want to join me and they want to look at stuff together. Hello, Amber, I can see you. So people can join me when I do these sessions or come on, but mainly I'm going to be doing them on YouTube, because I feel that YouTube has, you know, got a wider audience in the sense that it's not just your friends, that, you know, it can go much wider. And I think there are many things that could be discussed that do not get discussed in depth, and people have got so many different beliefs and belief systems and theories, and we're all different. And hello, love. Hello, Amber. You can see me. I can't see you, but I can see you on my mobile phone screen. So I think that the point is that I would imagine that people do, you know, are feeling, you know, whatever they're feeling, and a lot of people hide what they're feeling, which is understandable, you know. And I think that when we work, I've noticed that, you know, if I'm in the depth of work or, you know, doing something, then I don't feel, you know, uncomfortable or pain. But when we're on our own, I think a lot of us feel it, and I don't think I'm alone in that. I really don't. But sometimes we can think we are the only ones that are suffering, and that everybody else is on some level sorted and you know, happy and joyful. And I do believe that that is not the case. So there you go. I've got 5 viewers. I don't know who, because I can't see. But the question was, does anybody know their birth chart? Has anybody ever explored that? I shall stop talking for a moment. Amber, you do. Good. Okay. And what I think I can't recall your chart, but I know fully, but Amber, but you're a Scorpio rising as well, aren't you? Like I am, Scorpio rising. I'm waiting for you to answer there. So what else can I say? If anybody wants to join in discussions, as I go further with these, then it will be through Facebook. You don't know the time, Donna? Okay, I've got you there. Scorpio rising, yes. Donna, there is a way maybe of possibly figuring that out. I don't do it, but I've got a bit of understanding of how that's done. So maybe we could play with that sometime privately as friends and see what we come up with, because basically to define the rising sign, I had a bit of a time with my birth time. It was a couple of hours out and it had to be redefined, and we got it to the point that I'm definitely Scorpio rising, and Scorpio is ruled by, the ruler of Scorpio is Pluto. So that's not my sun sign. I don't want to confuse anybody out there. I am a Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, and Gemini sun and Gemini moon. And Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which means that that dark depth of, you know, speaking truth and the sting in the tail, and, you know, that's in me. If I was born a couple of hours earlier, on the 21st of May, the day I was born, I would have been a Sagittarius, or later rather, I would have been a Sagittarius rising, and I'm definitely not Sagittarius rising. So it's an interesting tool to be able to define through the planet Chiron what wound we're here to heal, because we all have wounds. Ouch. What happened there, Amber? Ouch. Yeah, Donna, we will do that. So the other thing I noticed about Facebook Lives, you know, this is why I'm going to go on YouTube, because I think that Facebook Lives have died out somewhat. I have noticed that through planetary activity, you can see the behavior that goes on Facebook. When I say behavior, not like a teacher, not that sort of behavior, but you can see where, you know, the moods of people, like a simple one would be Mercury retrograde. You can see it play out on social media. You can see, you know, when there's a full moon, you can see in people's posts and in their expression of how they're feeling. And then we had Venus go retrograde, and again you can see what that's doing to people currently, and I can see it quite clearly. Venus retrograde, it's going inward, and it's self-love, and it's the way we speak to ourselves as well. Venus is about the way we speak to ourselves in our head, and however we speak to ourselves, whether it's whatever way we do it, if in negativity or critical, then we project that out onto the world, and then that's mirrored back to us. So that's how Venus works. Venus is actually, in evolutionary astrology, it's to do with the way we hear and the way we hear ourselves. It's quite fascinating. What are you feeling, Amber, on the Venus retrograde? Do you want to give the people out there a bit of what you're feeling? Because I think for me, it's just about a deep awareness of that, you know, it really is time to love myself properly. You know, no playing around anymore. Being very real with, you know, respecting myself enough to know my own magnificence, and to know that I am lovable, and that, you know, any putting myself down or mistreatment of myself is way off now. That, you know, that can't happen anymore. But clearly, you know, that goes through our cycles and phases of life as well. So there you go. So I don't know, nobody's answering, only Amber's telling us what she is. You're feeling deep awareness of where I do not trust life. Okay, that's interesting. We'll talk. We haven't spoken for a while since you've been driving across the country. So, oh, sorry, my meditation. So Gabby's saying my meditation has been deepened as of late. Gabby, do you know your chart? I don't know. I don't know if you do. Where your planets, where your transits are, because that deepening, you know, the 12th house basically is surrender. It's where we surrender. I've got Jupiter moving through my 12th house at the moment, so I've been looking at my own beliefs and what I believe, the expansion of what is God and what does God mean to me, because I definitely don't feel, you know, the consensus reality about what God is. You know, the upbringing I had, which is Catholic, and that, you know, there's a man in the sky that casts spells, or, you know, even saying God's will is not, I wouldn't say it's not acceptable. I don't mean it that way, but it's like, you know, we're beings and we have some will. We have our own will as well. We can make choices. So it's not all just to do with, you know, handing it over to some God and saying whatever happens, it's God's will. It's, you know, no, we've got some responsibility to ourselves. To me, it's my mind, but, you know, God is this thing in my head. You know, it's in me. It's not outside me. That oneness, there is no separation in that. To me, there is no separate God. It's like deep within my soul. So Donna says, my anxiety and crying stopped a few weeks ago. feeling calm, grounded and safe. That's good. I'm feeling quite grounded as well, Donna. You know, I had a bit of deep grieving that came up in my throat the other night, like real, almost like tears, where you're so like overwhelmed that your throat hurts when you cry. I had for a moment feeling, you know, quite abandoned, but not the abandonment as an adult, the totality of abandonment and betrayals and losses, which are very sad for a lot of us. I won't start crying, but but very sad for a lot of us, you know, that when we can't measure our pain against somebody else's, saying, well, you had it worse than me, or, you know, we've all got this stuff going on. Gabby is saying S.A. Sally. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that one means. Gabby, can you give me a bit more on that? It could be that I'm not getting something there. But so I think for all of us, not to be, you know, to shine our light, to not be shy, to know that, you know, there's a perfection in the imperfection, and that I don't believe in magic in the sense that, you know, when people say for things like, you know, the universe and stuff like that, I just think that there's so much in us that we don't realize our own power and magnificence, and that we don't love ourselves enough, that critical nastiness we have, and that voice generally, it was not ours, it was given, and then we've repeated it. And who knows, maybe it's this life, maybe it's past lives. I'm 50-50. I'm sort of, sometimes I go into that past life stuff and then I think, oh, I don't know. So I do question a lot. I'm in a very questioning stage of my life and what I believe. That was an invitation. Oh, it was an invitation. I don't know if they tagged them properly, whoever that was. If you look back, Gabby, and look at the thing, maybe it didn't tag them properly. Donna, thank you. I appreciate you immensely too. You've been a wonderful support, and you've got a wonderful heart and soul. And I love your lake as well, that you've shown me pictures of that beautiful lake and your boat that you have. That's given me a lot of joy seeing that. So I think we're all, you know, I don't think we ever reach a place. I think it's an ongoing journey, and we have bad days and good days. But I think the more we communicate with ourselves in a mindful way, knowing that we've all got feelings equally, and that move towards people that we resonate with, and, you know, people that do your head in and don't believe in what you believe in. It's like, is it worth arguing with people? I'm getting to that point. It's like, we've all got something different going on. And there are so many groups on Facebook where we can be in groups where people get us and care about us. There are a few groups, and the one group that I'm admin in that's to do with child abuse, people that have been through child abuse that are healing. And then I've got my own anxiety group for ladies, just strictly ladies. There's 300 beautiful women in that group on that's a private group for ladies. And then there's other stuff, you know, I'm in astrology groups, which I adore. And there's one that does Zoom meetings once a week, and some brilliant astrologers. And I was in a lot of spiritual groups, but I moved away from a lot of those because a lot of people were telling me with my wound that I just had to forgive and let it go, which I was finding extremely difficult, which caused I got into a lot of fights with people about forgiveness. And if you've been, you know, if you follow what I write, you can see that that really annoyed me, because it was very hurtful for me, I will say this, when to be told to forgive things, when people haven't experienced what you've experienced and you've been abandoned and so trodden on as a child, and then to be told just to forgive and let it go, it's really useless, pointless information. Some of us need space held, and I find that I do hold space for others, and as a result of that, I do now. It's like I do have needs, and it's taken me a long time to get to a point to say that I have needs too. So if people can't hold space for me, I'm better off being, you know, out of their vicinity. But I've had to learn to do that and have a boundary and know when to, you know, pull back and just not argue. Amber, you've got to go. That's fine. I'll speak to you. I'll speak to you in the next 24 hours. And Rob is there. And I think that I'm done. I've got some sweet potato in the oven. I don't know if I've lost there. Hang on a minute. I've got some sweet potato in the oven. And yes, I'm back, I think. I've got some sweet potato. Actually, I bought a, it's winter here now. I'm in London. It's October. Clearly, it's October everywhere. And what I've got is I bought a crock pot, and I've been putting loads of vegetables in, and I've got some sweet potatoes in there, and they'll be ready. So I just put them in, and then 4 hours later they're ready. You hear me, Rob? Thank you. And you are beautiful too, Rob. You are. And we all seem to be beautiful. I think in many ways, I mean, we all are. It's just that some of us go through difficulty and then we argue. And actually the beauty of knowing astrology, when you look at composite charts and synastry charts, you can begin to see, you know, the activity that goes on between people. And some of it's not nice. And we push each other to learn and grow and, you know, not be such an ass to each other as we do at times. And, you know, this is just life as we go through it. So I'm going to I'm going to be live on YouTube, and that's going to be my slot from there. You've got to, okay, Donna, sorry, back to the crock pot. Donna's got one too. Do you use it, Donna? Are you using your crock pot? Out of interest, do you use it? And I will say with crock pots, what I found is, and this is great for people, for myself, I can quite easily go without, you know, food. I can drink tea all day, me, and hot tea, and, you know, food will be the last thing on my mind. We're all different. And for me, it's important that I've got warm food that I can just dip into when I need it. Yeah, you've got it on now. Right now. That's great. Okay, guys, that's it. I'm going to go. Thanks for spending a couple of minutes with me. Really appreciate it. And have a lovely rest of the evening. It's just coming up to 10 p.m. here in London. And I know that most of you are going to be at about 5 p.m. And Rob, I know you're going to be like 11 or 12 hours ahead. I will. Lots of love to you all. Thank you. Catch you later.